Welcome to the first episode of Enemy Analysis. Today's episode, Splicers. Splicers are the surviving citizens of Rapture's civil war who have become addicted to the super drug, Adam. This addiction to Adam, which is used in the form of plasmids, is one of many reasons for the collapse of the underwater city. Adam has many benefits. It grants its users superhuman abilities and powers, but like any other drug, Adam is addictive and not without consequence. Adam, in the form of plasmids, leads to severe genetic mutations both physically and mentally, resulting in insanity, derangement, and elevated aggression of its users. This brings us to our first enemy, thuggish splicers. Thuggish splicers are the most common enemy in Rapture, draped in ragged clothing with a disheveled appearance. They are generally weak, opting to rush at their targets and attack with melee weapons such as pipes, wrenches, and hooks. This lack of proper weaponry makes them rather easy to dispatch, however they make up for this downside by being extremely agile and attacking in groups. In groups, they can be a serious threat, requiring strategy to defeat. Also, sometimes they can be seen equipped with plasmids. For all the aforementioned reasons, thuggish splicers are D tier. So how can you deal with thuggish splicers? Anti-personnel rounds are effective against most humanoid enemies, and like most humanoid enemies, thuggish splicers are susceptible to headshots. Keeping them at a distance is also important. However, if you're only dealing with one, then it's recommended to conserve ammo. Instead, use Electrobolt and a melee weapon. Alternatively, you can use the environment to your favor, for example electrocuting them near water, setting fire to oil spills, or even explosives. If you're dealing with a large group, you can set traps, hack security robots, use big daddies, and of course anti-personnel rounds. Our next variant, leadhead splicers. Leadhead splicers are equipped with firearms and often wear formal attire. They use a variety of weapons including pistols, machine guns, and shotguns. Unlike other splicers, they do not make use of plasmids like Electrobolt, however, they do boast a high endurance which allows them to tolerate dozens of bullets. Leadhead splicers will take cover, shoot from a distance, attempt to flank the player, and seek health stations when injured. They are usually not alone, which only increases the threat they pose. Leadhead splicers are harder to deal with. You will need well-equipped firearms, plasmids, and some sort of strategy. Their intelligence, skill, and use of firearms makes the leadhead splicer a worthy adversary, putting them in B tier. The strategy to defeat them is much the same as the thuggish splicer. If encountered in groups, they should be taken out first. If you are low on ammo, you are required to stun them with Electrobolt and melee them with some kind of weapon. Overall, leadhead splicers are B tier. Next up, spider splicers. Spider splicers have mutated to an extreme, allowing them to scale walls and ceilings, as well as allowing them to perform great feats of strength and agility. They attack with hooks from a distance and can also engage in close combat with said hooks. Spider splicers are notoriously hard to kill, not only for their high endurance, but also for their speed and agility, making them hard to hit. They are smart, making use of health stations when injured, and making use of stealth and intimidation tactics to take down their targets. Because of the threat they pose, you will require anti-personnel rounds from a decent firearm to kill the spider splicer, as well as plasmids like Electrobolt or Winter Blast to knock them off the ceilings, and telekinesis to throw their hooks back at them. Like with other splicers, you can use the environment, traps, robots, and big daddies in your favor. Another thing to consider is researching them with the camera. Overall, spider splicers are a dangerous enemy, giving them the top spot of A tier. Houdini splicers were once magicians in Rapture before the city fell. They wear magician-like clothing and have the ability to teleport. Houdini splicers vanish and reappear in different locations, making them difficult to track. They often use fire-based attacks and are a threat to those inexperienced, but once you become battle-hardened, the Houdini splicer becomes manageable and more of a nuisance. Like most splicers, they are horribly disfigured and mentally insane. Their lack of an arsenal means that they are no more of a threat than the thuggish splicers. Splicer, and as mentioned, more of a nuisance than a great danger. Their fire attacks can be dangerous to those uninitiated, and their teleportation can be tricky to deal with at first. To defeat Houdini Splicers, it's recommend you stop them with some kind of plasmid like Electro Bolt or Winter Blast, and then finish them off with a weapon. Like most Splicers, anti-personnel rounds work well, and the other strategies that we've mentioned. Overall, Houdini Splicers aren't as much of a threat, but they definitely aren't the weakest enemy in Rapture, giving them the spot of C tier. And finally, last but not least, Nitro Splicers are one of the most dangerous enemies in Rapture. These enemies are armed with explosives consisting of grenades, molotovs, and smoke bombs. Nitro Splicers have self-destructive tendencies where they'll blow themselves up if unable to escape defeat, a kind of seppuku. They use the grenades and molotovs cocktails offensively, of course, and the smoke bomb defensively to escape danger. On death, they'll drop an additional explosive, killing any looters. Chasing Nitro Splicers can be fatal. As they make their escape, they tend to throw explosives over the shoulder at their pursuers. They're also smart, using health stations when injured, and as I've mentioned, trying to escape when close to death. Because of all their tricks and explosives, Nitro Splicers are a formidable enemy requiring strategy with plasmids to safely defeat, putting them easily in A tier. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe.